Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Chats with Chaudhry. It's a very cloud and overcast day here in Surrey to start the week, but hopefully the week will brighten up and this will start your week in a good note. And I'm delighted to be joined by Isabel Munoz Willery, who is the co-owner of NL42, who are the organizers of Paperless Labs Academy. And today we're talking all about paperless labs. So, buenos dias, Isabel.
Good morning, Rizan.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Here in Madrid is also extremely foggy, so really English weather.
Yeah, well, sadly, it is an English weather if you said it's a bit foggy, but hopefully we can brighten people's start to the week this morning by talking
Sure,
about paperless
sure.
labs. So, anyway, before we start talking about paperless labs, perhaps you can give viewers a quick overview of NL42 and Paperless Labs Academy, if not familiar with the event, and your role there.
Thank you very much, Rizwan. That's a good opportunity for us to be presented to your audience. So again, really a pleasure for us. Where to start? NL42. NL42 is a European consulting firm that we started kind of 10 years ago. We're coming back from ex-director, business director of businesses in the automatic sequencing from my side, of lab informatics from my partner side. And one day we decided to become our bosses. So here born NL42 Consulting, dedicated to paperless projects. While doing so, we realized that there were a lot of knowledge missing. And with another partner of us, we kind of started building this Paperless Lab Academy, where the main goal is definitely to make sure that we can generate discussion on pragmatical topics, but make sure also that experiences are shared, tough challenges discussions are covered from any angle, from very basic to very expert. So nobody has to be ashamed of missing any piece of it. We are trying really to bring everybody to the same level or make at least people think about it. My role, I'm the owner, so woman orchestra doing everything, and you can imagine.
Yeah, sure.
I'm from the Paperless Lab Academy. I'm the key lady, let's say, the event manager.
Right. Okay. So before we talk a little bit more about paperless, so how has COVID affected your business?
So COVID, the nice virus, right? Strongly from a consulting point of view, I would say that, okay, we face a moment where all the projects were finishing. We face a moment where nothing was happening. And then because it's digital, because companies have to react, because companies have really to take strong decision now in improving efficiency. Yes, from consulting point of view, it's restarting strongly now. Companies need to put a plan in place and implement very quickly. From an event point of view, you know that live events have been impacted a lot. So what we've done after recovering emotionally after the big impact is to also learn quickly to evolve and become digital. So the Paperless Lab Academy is a two-day congress normally. So now we are kind of learning very quickly how to become virtual. But thanks to our partners, the lab informatic providers of the industry, they are supporting us, and we are running a lot of webinars also. Basically, every month we have an offer from our webinar program.
Right. Okay. And so when we talk about paperless labs, what do you actually mean by paperless labs? I interviewed Thomas Schmitz from Agilent last week, actually, and he was talking about digital labs. So what do you mean by paperless labs, and is there a difference between digital labs and paperless labs?
Wow, that could be a very long answer. Let me make it short. Paperless is a nice word, it's a nice summary of digitalized lab. Anyway, is everything about smoothing processes, about security, integrity, is everything about making sure you are managing correctly your data. From the very first moment you are generating them as raw data from your instrument in a lab, till the moment that you need really to come back to them anytime, easily, do your audit, do your business decisions with it, and definitely have them archived correctly and secured. Is all about data. Paperless is the nice word to summarize everything, but it's all about correct scientific data management, I would say.
Right. Okay. Now, how long has Paperless Labs been going for, the Academy itself, the event?
As a congress per se, it's now 8 years, 8th edition. We were about to run in 2020, the 8th edition in Europe. We were having already confirmed more than 30 providers. A lot of registration were happening. So the event per se in Europe is probably a word of mouth. It's is increasing its reputation and increasing presence every year.
Right. Now, so the reason I ask is that obviously during those 8 years, you've seen a lot of changes. So how, the topics change, obviously, and you will see trends, because one year some topics are very popular, and then as time progresses, some of those topics fall out of favor and other things become more important. So in the last 8 years or so, what have you seen change within the industry in relation to paperless labs?
It's true that there are some fashion topic from one year to another. But anyway, even the oldest one remain on top of the priorities for the companies, the one like data integrity. You know perfectly that data integrity is something that everybody's speaking about, everybody's tired to hear about, but everybody has to think about. And then on top of that, yes, there are the concept of fair, regarding the good management of the data. And there are other concepts, there are other technologies coming on top of that, where even from the Paperless Lab Academy now, even if we keep focusing on basic digital transformation strategies, we are also challenging the conversation through artificial intelligence, through data mining, big data. In the end, it's all about, as I was saying before, it's about managing correctly your data so that you are capable of extracting something useful for you.
Right. Okay. So I know obviously the event in Milan had to get postponed, sadly. But I know that things have changed now and you've gone virtual. So you have an event coming up in India, or was planning to be India live. Now that's gone virtual. So why did you decide to do an event for India?
This is a story that started 2 years ago. We had some key thought leaders that were approaching Indian providers and challenged them to come to the Paperless Lab Academy Europe. So we started to have providers sponsoring the event in Europe from India. So we started thinking that probably they were kind of, let's say, business opportunity for the Paperless Lab Academy. And we made our duties, our homework. And after 2 years, we were ready. We were ready from all angles. We were extremely welcome from the industry, provider side, and let's say customer side, looking for this opportunity of having access to a learning platform. So we were ready to run a live edition in Hyderabad. As I said before, after the emotional impact of having to postpone the one in April in Europe, in the end, we recovered and decided to anyway, go for it and do it virtual. So this event will happen in 2 weeks, December 1 to 3. Because it is virtual, we are working with a dedicated event platform, and it will be open. The platform will be open till December 20.
Right. Okay. And what can people expect if they register? Well, first of all, because it's obviously labeled as PLA India, is it only for an Indian audience or is it for a wider audience?
Whoever want to attend. We have a registration from wherever. So from Europe, from the States. Of course, the live session will be Indian time. But as I said before, because it's virtual, it will be open. So the presentation will be available for whoever is registering. They will be able to view the presentation, review the presentation, and even, let's say, the app will be open 24 hours. So anytime you are there, you can visit the sponsor, the booth. There is a lot of material, PDF, white papers, brochures available. The speakers, the attendees per se, let's say in a live edition, they used to benefit a lot from the networking session. They are learning from each other. We hope that virtually this can be also done.
Right. Okay. So if people want to attend, is there a particular criteria that they have to register for, and is there a cost involved to register?
So it is free. It's free for visitors that we call, let's say, potential buyers to our sponsors, because in the end, the event, it's happening thanks to the sponsors. Okay, they are the one putting the money on. So it's completely free for visitors that are coming from companies that own a laboratory, that are interested in considering digital transformation projects.
What?
There is a small fee for any consultant or people from providers that are not sponsoring the event, because in the end, we can see that a lot of these type of person are also very interested in the learning opportunities and also networking. So at least we have set up a small fee for them.
Right. Okay. And what sort of topics? I mean, you obviously talked about data integrity and AI and various other things. But is there anything unique or different or exciting that, which is exciting you in terms of a topic for the virtual event coming up in a couple of weeks?
This year, there are a lot of user case. There are a lot of companies from like Boehringer, Roche Diagnostic, Gentech, Zidus Cadila, big pharma in India, HGS, that were willing to share their own digital journey, their strategy, where they are, how they are facing the pandemic situation. So there is a lot of willingness to share to others. And that's really impressive. Of course, we have key companies like Bigfinite, and also from Dow Chemicals, we have a nice friend of us that is from the chemical angle, but sharing his strong experience in managing big data and the opportunity to think further in going artificial intelligence much more than for the production lines or for, let's say, automatic quality control steps. So this is what you can find. You can find a lot of user case, technical knowledge. Some of them are extremely technical. We have also, let's say, key guys, key contributors in the ISPE that will be also sharing a lot of knowledge from the compliance point of view. So it's a mix. And then we have our sponsors. So our sponsors have their own session where they run their sponsor workshops.
Brilliant. Now, one thing I forgot to ask you was, which is maybe a nice way to conclude it, what do you see the future for paperless labs or digital labs? I mean, how do you think things will develop going forward, particularly given COVID has forced lots of companies now to look at digital more seriously? I mean, I know everyone's been talking about digital for many, many years, but I think COVID has forced people now to actually go and do something through no choice of their own, really, but they've had to now because people are working remotely. I've been forced to work remotely. So what do you see the future trends being, or the future for paperless labs?
I would say that's more than technology angle, which is there are a lot and there are more and more. What I would say is that today, probably this pandemic situation has hopefully broken a bit the mindset of the key players, meaning not the providers, but the CFO, that they will probably start in the companies to think that budgeting for this type of project is a must. That's where most of the time this type of project are at the beginning stop, because there is no, from the top management, there is no view that there is a need for investing that. So I think, and that will make really a breakthrough. And also from the final users. We speak also a lot in the Paperless Lab Academy about change management, because there are some reticencies also of the final users of changing the way they work, moving to a software. And today they have been forced. Some of them had to work from home. Some of them had to discover how to start working by just running virtual meetings. So in a way, my wish is that they are probably now, they have gone through this change management through the digital thing, and they are much more ready to think about implementing new way of doing.
Yeah, well, that's true, and I think that's very interesting. Well, that's what we have time for, but it's lovely to talk to you and lovely to see you. I wish we could meet in person. I was looking forward to going to Milan this year, but hey, that's just the way it is. I mean, looking ahead to next year, I know it's very, very difficult to predict, what's going to happen next year. Yeah, even with the talk of obviously the good news about the vaccines being developed and so on last week. But what is your view then in terms of your live events for 2021, and what are your thoughts in terms of what are you going to do?
We are planning to go ahead with live edition. Surely with a kind of hybrid situation where playing, as you know, we were playing already in the live event. We were already having an app, but we will probably expand this, and because in the end our sponsors are really, in a way, not so much ready to go virtual, and they are really looking for live interactions. In the beginning, I think we will go hybrid.
Right. And are you still, because I know Post Labs was originally planned in Europe for April this year. So are you still looking at April next year, or are you looking for later in the year?
We are working for April, end of April next year.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I wish you lots of success with the virtual event, and you're planning for next year as well. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to me about it. It's really interesting to hear about this. As I said, I was talking to Arjun last week about digital labs. It's good to get your views on what the differences might be and what the developments are. So, Isabel, all I can say is thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you very much,
Isabel. And the planning. I know the 2 weeks leading up are always very stressful, so making sure everything works as well, technology wise as so on, and testing everything out. So good luck with that. I hope you all found that useful and found that interesting. If you'd like to know more about Paperless Labs Academy, then I will put the link above the video so you can click on it. And obviously, if you then find it interesting, you want to register, then as Isabel said, it's free. If you work within life science and pharma and are involved in using that sort of technology, then you can register for free as well. And if you're not in India, it doesn't matter, because if you're in Europe and North America, everything is on demand as well. So you can actually download it and view it after the event for another 2-3 weeks as well. So why not? I would suggest you should if you can. And so have a great week. It's very cloudy, but the day's already brightened up talking to you, Isabel. So thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. My week has already started better. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for fun.
And thank you for watching. And as always, until next time, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.